They got a lot of people that say they guard 5 positions.
He for real.
But he locks down 5 positions. You can put him on Jalen Brunson. You can put him on Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. I mean, that's just I'm fine with him guarding any of those people. I'm happy with him guarding any of those people. So, Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year.
Here.
Steals, blocks.
Welcome back to a new episode of Link with JB. I'm your host, Jared Brownridge, here with my co-host, Kiran Rehal. And today we're in for a treat as we're joined by somebody who's had a unique journey, going undrafted out of LSU, and then going on to have more than a decade-long career in the NBA and become one of the most respected veterans in the league. Currently with the Toronto Raptors, Garrett Temple. Thanks for joining us, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you here. So I want to start with the origin of your basketball story. I'm assuming that your father has played a big role in that. Somebody who's a mentor figure and taught you hard work and resiliency, and was also the first Black basketball player at LSU. Can you talk about what influence he's had on you in your basketball journey?
Man, he's had a crazy influence, more than the average dad in general. As you stated, first Black basketball player at LSU. Ironically, his dad tried to go to LSU to get his master's and was turned away.
Wow.
But still had the forethought to send his son there to integrate the sports program. Most would want nothing to do with LSU after that, right? So he went there in 1970, played for Pete Maravich's dad, and then the legendary Dale Brown his last 2 years. And the stories that the things that he's had to endure, a lot of the LSU, players after him came to him for advice. So, when I'm 5, 6, 7 years old, Shaquille O'Neal is tackling me in my front yard, and
that's great.
you know what I'm saying? I knew, the legendary, formerly known Chris Jackson, now Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. And my oldest brother, honestly, played College Temple. The third played LSU, 1,000-point scorer as well. So both of those guys had a lot to do with my basketball upbringing, as well as my other brother who played football at ULL.
I love that, man. A whole lineage. And you also mentioned that your father endured a lot. I know he went through racial taunting and harassment during that time in the 70s when he did attend LSU. Like, what was hearing those stories like as a younger kid, and how do you kind of carry on his legacy from here?
Man, it was interesting to hear. By the time I got 7 or 8, it wasn't, honestly, it was like normal if I heard something like that, because I had heard it and, from him since I was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Death threats, bomb threats, playing through those. There's a person by the name of David Duke that was the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, who was a senior in college when my dad was a sophomore at LSU, and they used to have a lot of debates on campus. So, teachers calling him the N-word in class, and a lot of different things. His teammates not passing him the ball, sliding notes under his door. And then to hear, Dale Brown is an amazing soul. I've had a lot of time to talk to him before, to hear the same stories from him, reiterated. Because, your parents can embellish a little bit, but when people say the exact same thing, or maybe even say it was worse than what your dad said, then it really shows you what he had to go through. And I appreciate him for going through that. He opened the door, obviously, for everybody after him, including my brother and I.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Big Baby Davis, did he grow up with your family as well?
Grew up with us. Big Baby grew up with us. I remember when I met Glenn. We were 9 years old. He was playing on the AAU on a little rec team, little recreation team, and he was killing everybody.
Yeah,
I think their team beat us, and my dad was like, "Boy, who are you?" And then he realized that he knew his mom.
Wow.
So he's like, "You need to play with us." Yeah. From then on, he was with us. Tyrus Thomas, who was a Chicago Bull.
There he is.
I've known him since I was 4 years old. We grew up in the same exact gym since we were 3 or 4. We were like this growing up. And then Brandon Bass grew up in the same Baton Rouge.
Brandon Bass.
Marcus Thornton.
I was just gonna say, I played him in the G-League at the end of his career.
We all grew up in the same gym. Simone Augustus.
Oh yeah.
So we had some people come through Baton Rouge, man, during that time. graduating from either 2001 to 2005 out of high school, and it was a great time, coming up in the 90s basketball for sure.
That's awesome. It's awesome to hear also about your father as well. Obviously, you followed in his footsteps after leaving university, high school, then attending LSU, where you became the all-time leader in minutes played. Have you thought about this? 4,432 minutes. That's a lot.
That's a lot of minutes. It's crazy. One of my teammates, he named Tasman Mitchell, who's now the all-time leader all-time leader in minutes. I said that it should be an asterisk because he played like 5 games and then he had a medical red shirt. So if he had to play those 5 games, we would have been battling it out. But no, it was great. It was a lot of minutes. I redshirted my first year too. So, that 10-day undrafted type of mentality was already kind of brewing. I redshirted my first year and won a starting job my freshman year, and I played the most minutes in when we played in the tournament that year. Went to the Final Four, played the most minutes. I think I averaged like 41 minutes a game as a freshman. Had to run around with J.J. Redick.
Wait, you said you had to do what?
Had to chase J.J. Redick.
J.J. around?
Oh, man.
Had to chase J.J. My freshman year, the year that he won Player of the Year.
Wow.
That was his, he played against us. His final college basketball game was against LSU Tigers. We beat him in the Sweet 16.
Oh, my gosh.
No, that was sweet.
3 for 18.
Yeah.
I always remind him when I see.
Yeah, you have to.
You have a lanky freshman from Baton Rouge held him at 3 for 18. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to ask, when you play him, I'm sure you probably say something to him.
We talked a lot about it. Not a lot, but he shows respect. We're cool now.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing as a coach now, which is great. But LSU was great, man. You know what I'm saying? I loved that college experience. That's one thing I'm not a fan of the transfer portal because people don't really get that college experience anymore.
Yes.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. Obviously I have questions to ask, but because you brought that up, the transfer portal, I don't want to stay, but I have to. I think about it often, because obviously you and I both grew up in a time where NIL wasn't a thing, and now you have players jumping from school to school. What is your full thought process on that? And do you think it's hurting kids these days, or do you think obviously it's beneficial financially, but do you think it's hurting kids in another way?
Man, that's a great question. It's interesting. My dad was talking. They invited him to talk to the Senate committee, a few senators, about the NIL transfer portal thing that's going on to try to see how they can figure out how to do it right. I think players should get paid for the value that they bring. College coaches are getting $10-15 million a year to coach. They put a product on the floor that is entertainment that they get money for. So I definitely think players should get paid. NIL, I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I think that should be something separate, that you actually get paid for your name, image, and likeness to sign autographs or things of that nature. I think you should get paid by maybe the conference or the university or whoever it may be that's making the money, and you disperse it and maybe create, some collective bargaining that can fix it. And then that would, in my opinion, once you collectively bargain, that may be able to stop the transfer portal stuff. You having in your, agreement, we have 2-year contracts or 1-year contract or a 3-year contract, and that would, I think, help programs. Because when we came out, the NBA, there was no way that an NBA team could build more of a program than a college. It was, you come in and you're coming into a program at a Michigan State, all the Blue Bloods, Duke, North Carolina. You're going to go there and you're going to be there. Whereas nowadays it's few and far between when you see guys, play 2, 3, definitely 4 years on the same team is crazy. I have Jamal Shead as my young teammate, a second-year guard who's playing great. And I think it helped him so much to play for Kelvin Sampson for 4 years. I mean, you can see the maturity in him versus somebody that bounced around from team to team and left after their, 4th year.
It's hard to develop when you're just jumping around or just leaving.
Yeah.
No question. You asked if it hurts. I think it hurts in terms of guys are not able to build that stick-to-itiveness.
Yes.
You know, Michael Irvin said something the other day, like about a month ago. He was talking about the cocoon of life and how college kind of hardens you. You know what I'm saying? Especially athletes. You go to college, you got to go to class. That's another thing. And you have to go to and you have to go to, you know, and play. And you may not be able to play that first year. You may have to grind it out. Tyrus Thomas, for example, wanted to leave. We both had to redshirt. Mine was by choice. His was not. He wanted to leave during the redshirt year.
Wow.
Stayed and endured. Freshman year, went gangbusters. Was the number 4 pick. That grind, you know what I'm saying? It hards you. It's a part of becoming a person. You know, the caterpillar has to go through the cocoon to become a butterfly. So I think they're making things a little too easy, which in all aspects hurts the player, the person later in life.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. The only thing I will say, and I'm with you 100%, the only thing I will say or I think is beneficial from NIL right now is the fact that we see all teams across the board kind of be even, if that makes sense. I feel like there's more mid-major teams. Obviously, me going Santa Clara is a mid-major. Well, this is our first year in the tournament, and now we're like able to play teams like Kentucky and compete or maybe even win. So I think that's the only benefit of it that I've seen, but as far as everything else, I couldn't agree more. So we'll see how things start to shake out down the line.
We're going to figure out how they can figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously after leaving LSU, you then got your first start in the NBA with Houston Rockets Summer League team and also their development team. Can you talk about what your mindset was like during that period and what the climb ahead was going to take for you to stick to the league? Because I know what it's like to go undrafted. So you're like, man, how am I going to get to where I'm trying to get to? And then when I get there, how am I going to stick? So what was your thought process?
Right. I knew about Summer League because my brother had played with the Detroit Pistons. I didn't really know much about the D League, now G League.
Yeah.
I like D League better. It's very specific of what it is, the league. But shout out to Gatorade. I was going into Summer League nervous as hell, bro. I was nervous as hell. But I was told going into Summer League that I was going to have that my training camp spot was kind of solidified. I was going to be able to go to training camp.
Gotcha.
So I was in Summer League. I remember my first 3. I remember, you know, first couple of games I hit some 3s. I got the jitters out. And, you know, the games weren't as packed as they are now. In the small gym at Cox, they were packed, but at UNLV, the big gym, it wasn't packed. So I just remember just being kind of nervous.
Yeah.
And honestly, the biggest memory is James White in layup lines. He was my teammate at Summer League and, you know, with the Rockets. And the things that he did, bro, off that left leg were crazy. James Flight White. If y'all young people don't know who he is,
go look him up.
Go look him up. Y'all think Zach LaVine, you know, or Mike or James White was crazy off that left leg.
Yeah.
Check him out. But it was a great experience. Jitters for sure, but did enough to get to training camp.
I love that. I mean, Kiran, you're in sales. I would compare, I don't know if this is the right comparison, but I would compare like Summer League almost to like an internship.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you had to go through internships. Did you feel like jitters throughout? Like, did you feel like there was anything you had to prove or not? Did you feel the same?
Sure. I mean, imagine getting on your first cold call and you're like, that's the same with you. Getting your first shots up, like seeing it go through the hoop or getting that first call where they're like, yes, okay, I'll accept the meeting. I feel like is similar to that.
Yeah.
No question.
And with like Summer League, was there anything that you were like, okay, if I could pass something down to younger players to prepare for Summer League, what would you say to them?
I would say similar to the things I say to the guys when they first get to the league, or if they're like going for a draft workout, I should say, just be yourself. You know, they have you on the team because of what you do, not because of, you know, who they expect you to be 4 years from now or who you see. You know, if you're a 2 guard, that's a defender. Don't go out there trying to shoot step back 3s.
Yeah, exactly.
Defend. If you get an open 3, shoot it.
Yes.
If you're a shooter, don't pass up 3s.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot the ball.
Yeah.
So just know who you are, because the NBA, especially when I first came in, was a league where you had to have a niche. And you know, it was more like a few specialists, more specialists in the league then than it is now. So it was about doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
At a high level. Then, you know, the things that translate, defense, rebounding, scoring, usually translate pretty well to the NBA.
Yes. And I think one huge thing, and you could speak on this too, is coming out of college. Like at college, you could have been the best player on the team. You having to do everything for the team. Then once you get to the NBA, it's like, okay, what is it that you actually do? Because a team probably already has a Steph Curry, a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James, and you can't have two of those on the floor. So in order to get to your team and figure out how to stick there, it's like, okay, this is what I do. For me, it's shooting. So now I'm no longer the James Harden that I was at Santa Clara. Now how am I going to be JJ Redick and run off these screens and shoot threes? And
you kind of look like JH if you had a big beard.
You think so?
You know what I'm saying? They all got the same head shape and stuff. Yeah.
You said you got a big head.
Hey, no, I never heard that before. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right.
Nah, it's crazy. I played against James. They could be thinking back when he was a freshman. We played against each other in Maui. But, that's exactly right, bro. And I think that's honestly part of the reason that something that helped me was because I was kind of the quote unquote role player, even though I think every player has a role on the team, so everybody's a role player.
Mm-hmm.
But I was that, glue guy for most of my career, even high school.
Mm.
Me and Glenn played on the same high school team, Big Baby.
Yeah.
So I was never the best player on my team. Like I said, I played with Glenn and Tyrus Thomas in college. And then so I kind of went into the league with that mindset of staying under the radar, just doing whatever coach needs me to do,
Yes.
which helped me because I didn't have to kind of dial it down.
Yeah.
I think that's what hurts guys.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes the guys that were they were the man in high school, in college, and they're like, well, this is what I usually do. I usually get 18 shots a game. You put me in the box, put me in the corner.
Yeah.
That's not really my comfort zone. So being able to change and figure that out, I think is a skill for guys. You look at again, Chicago person, Jimmy Butler, the way that he came into the NBA to what he grew into is the epitome of what I think people should look at in terms of if they want to continue to grow and get better, that's what they should be, unless DeBonsa or he had the catch coming in like that.
Yeah.
It's like that adaptability you need. I think about like a TJ McConnell, probably great at so many things, but he honed that niche of like, I'm going to grind this out. I'm going to be diving all over the floor. Or like a Derek White, just so sound at so many different things and doing exactly what coach asks of you will make you stick in this league and like have a great spot on the team.
No question. And make a lot of money.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah. And me and Derek White, we weren't teammates, but we were at the same invitation. I forget what they call it. They invite like the top college players. And we're all there. None of us really get drafted, but they have all the scouts there watching. And I'm like, yo, this dude is nice, man. Like, and he's like 6'7", 6'8". And so to see like what he's turned it into is the epitome of what you're talking about. Is like, okay, he figured out what he needs to do for this exact team and he sticks to it. He doesn't try to do anything crazy. And from that, sometimes your role evolves if you do it the right way. And now you see his roles evolve and he got the big contract. So that's a great point right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so I would kind of describe your career as a journeyman per se. 16 years, 12 NBA teams. I know you said the D-League doesn't, but 3 development teams, I think, throughout your career.
Yep. Good research, boy. I see you. Yeah.
I appreciate it. What would you say, how would you describe the journey and how you withstand all of that? Because it's a lot to go through that.
It is, man. And on my 3rd professional season, so this 17 pro, the lockout year, I went to Italy, and that was a interesting experience. I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't take it back for anything, but it was difficult. You know what I'm saying? I think I have the most 10-day contracts in the history of the league.
18 days.
And I remember my first call up to the Houston Rockets playing against the Miami Heat. The support system I had from my family was amazing. My middle brother drove from Louisiana to Miami, 15-hour drive to come see my first game randomly. You know what I'm saying? But that support has definitely pushed me. But there's been times, I was on 5 different teams my first 2 years. Lockout hit, went to Italy. 4th year went to training camp with Miami, and I played well.
Yeah.
Played well. All the writings on the wall was I was going to make the team. Ended up getting cut. Was the last cut. They kept the guy that they had before. And at that point, that was probably, I guess, the lowest point where I was like, what's up? I'm supposed to be in this league.
Yeah.
And in December of that year, got called up by the Wizards and had to choose between the Wizards and the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat called back and said, hold up, no, we want you. We made a mistake. Now, they were coming off the championship, their first championship with the Big Three.
Yeah.
And I was in training camp with them. I had a rapport with the coaches. Spo hit me, was like, nah, come on back. And the Wizards, on the other hand, were 3-22 with a young John Wall, Bradley Beal's rookie year. So I was like,
That's a tough decision.
you know, and the Wizards GM was like, hold up, you told me yes last night. And I was like, that's before the champs hit me up, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to DC.
Yeah.
And Spo always to this day tells me, you know, you bet on yourself, you made the right decision.
Yeah.
And he says that he didn't cut me. It came from up top.
Yeah.
So but it was a journey, man, and it's only made it sweeter. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. My first year I played with the Rockets, got cut, was driving to the airport, and the Kings called me and said, turn around, meet us at the Houston Galleria. We're going to play the Rockets in 2 days. We're going to sign you to a 10-day.
Oh, wow.
So the next game the Rockets played, I'm in the visitor locker room, putting on a Kings jersey. Fast forward, 9th day of my Kings 10-day, the Spurs called me and say, we didn't know the Kings were going to pick you up that quick. We want you. You know what I'm saying? What's up? So I leave and go to the San Antonio Spurs. And my first NBA start that year is against the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento.
Wow.
That's crazy. So it's like you go from not knowing if you're going to be on an NBA team to you got Tim Duncan in the post, Mondo on your right. You know what I'm saying? Tony Parker's backing you up. Now, mind you, he was coming off injury.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, like, I'm playing against Steve, my first 4 starts. I'm playing against Tyreek, who's Rookie of the Year, Steve Nash, and Amari at their height, Chauncey Billups, Carmelo, the Denver Nuggets, those guys.
Wow.
And I'm like, and Chauncey tells me after the fourth quarter, I like your game, young fella. You know, like all of these things that happened in my rookie year. And I was just like hoping I could, do well in the D League. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great start to my career, which makes it sweeter now, and I can, pour into the young guys that are the two ways and the forgotten about, undrafted guys that make a difference.
I love that. And I love that you brought up two-way players. Obviously, I'm very familiar with that. But the word longevity, I think, is very important, at least to me. It's like a lot of guys can get to the league, but can you stay there? And I think you embody that really well. Obviously, with the journey that you've had, jumping, from organization to organization, different teams wanting you, but finding a way to always stick, and still now in the 16-year career. Can you talk about what most young players might misunderstand when it comes to what it takes to sustain longevity?
No question. I did an interview with a lady with the Ringers. She was talking about the term nice guy, or, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different than locker room guy, but I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Just understanding your role and it being more difficult for highly touted guys are guys that just are very talented, that can do a lot of good things and don't get that opportunity right away. And I think they may not be able to be adaptable. You know what I'm saying? I think about like the players I played with, like Jordan Crawford was a bucket in DC. Like it was crazy what he could do. He got traded, I think, to Boston and won, player of the month, Eastern Conference player of the month at the point guard. Nobody knew he even played point like that. So like the talent level is immense, but the ability to be professional, and that's general, but that means be on time, have a work ethic, be low maintenance. I think that's the big thing now. And, we talked about the NIL transfer portal, like being low maintenance, which means not having anybody to have to worry about you or asking for too many things or you being a prima donna or things of that nature, just being somebody that's under the radar or whatever. I call it the what do you need coach player. When you can be that guy, and then once you get on the court, you produce, especially on the defensive end. Offensively, is you can make shots, miss shots, but if you produce defensively and you cause no problems, you only bring positivity to the team, it's hard for coaches and GMs to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard.
Those are all things you can control, right? The way you show up every day, your attitude defensively is effort.
That's exactly right. But it's what Will says something crazy. Will Smith says something crazy. It's simple, but it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Because you get in your head I averaged 21 as a, you know what I'm saying? I was this dude, but you go 3 games without playing.
Yeah.
But the dude in front of me not even playing well. What you doing? Like, it's all so many things, you know. The ego is so big in professional sports. You have to have one to get to a certain level, but you literally have to be able to turn it on and off.
Yes.
And once your mindset is about winning, the team winning, you can focus on doing whatever the team needs you to do to win. So I think that's the biggest thing that allows people to stay in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking about all the guys that are in the league: Mike Conley, Joe Ingles, you know, the Drew Holidays. Yeah, they're really good people, good guys. You know what I'm saying? If they weren't all-stars, you would still want them on your team.
For sure. You said something that I liked, is being able to turn off that ego. Kobe Carl, George Carl's son, who was my coach in the G League. I remember when he first told me that I wasn't going to play today. And I'm thinking, like, well, I'm shooting 40% from 3. I played well last game. What's the issue? You know, so, but the Sixers at the time, they were bringing down players from the NBA so they could get minutes. And, you know, in my head, you know, I haven't had somebody told me that yet. So I'm thinking, man, I don't care if they're coming down or not. Like, I could shoot still. I can do the right. Yeah. So that first time was very hard, but I like to consider myself a smart person. So I thought about it afterwards. And I'm like, okay, I can't have this attitude that I had. I got to keep working so that way when it is my time, I'm ready to go. And I think it was just that understanding. And I think the sooner players can understand that, the better, because then they'll have a better off career. But if you get caught in that hold of saying, oh, well, I deserve to be on that court, like they don't, like, then that's when you start to see yourself trickle down, because now coaches don't want to deal with you. So I just wanted to bring that up because I felt like it was perfect with what you just said.
Nah, that's real. Me and Kobe, there's the Players Association, we put on like a top 100 camp, NBA top 100 camp, and players, current or former players, coached the guys. So me and Kobe coached at top 100. Bam was actually at top 100 that year. And Thon Maker was on our team, and Xavier Tillman was on our team. So now I'm playing against guys that I coached. But
I love that.
Nah, Kobe, my guy.
I love that. And I just want to say that I love Kobe. Kobe is one of my favorite coaches that I've had. It was unfortunate that I had that story, but I love Kobe. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to pivot and talk about the business aspect of basketball. You kind of alluded to it when you said that you had to got the call from the Spurs and had to switch teams and play in the same arena. But there's so many stories that we've heard. We've heard Derrick Rose getting called during his documentary that he's being traded from the Bulls to the Knicks. Kyle Korver being traded on a road trip, being called by the Sixers GM while he was taking a nap. So they left a voicemail and said, you know, we traded you to the Utah Jazz. You hear about these stories, and I think fans, all they see is us on the court, and they're like, everything is all good. But there's another side that they don't really get to see. Can you talk about that, or maybe share a personal story?
Yeah. Nah, it's tough, man. And you know what I'm saying? I've been traded 2 times before in my career. I did a sign and trade, but really traded 2 times before. The first time, you know, under the radar, I kind of requested it because the team was trying to rebuild and didn't want to play the people, you know, that were 29 or 30. So the second time, I kind of knew it may happen. I got a call during my nap. I was on the road. I got a call during my nap from my GM saying, you got a one-way trip to Los Angeles, California. I'm like, I'm going to go to the Lakers? Like the Clippers? Oh. But it was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was great. I was going with another teammate. But the crazy thing is, me and JaMychal Green got traded from Memphis to LA. And we didn't have any clothes. It was a one-day trip to OKC. So we didn't have any clothes. And we were traded on the road. So we met them in Boston. And we had to go to Walmart to buy some underwear and all of that stuff. It was crazy. It was like a 6-day road trip they were on. So we weren't figure it out. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But nah, it's tough, man. And from the aspect of the GM, you know what I'm saying, putting the GM hat on, you want to call the player, you want to let him know. You don't want them to find out on TV. Hopefully, you know, it stays under wraps long enough for you to call them, or because you probably won't be able to see them in person. Yeah. But I know some players that on trade deadline, if we're home, they'll just go to the gym and just be in the gym shooting. So if they see the GM talking, they'll be like, "Is he talking about me, or what's going on?" It's a crazy game, but nah, it's part of the business, and I was lucky to learn it early on, like I said,
Yeah.
so that when I saw things happen throughout my career, they didn't faze me as much as they would somebody else.
I love that. And before I turn it over to Kiran, obviously that was on the business side, but do you have on a funny story that you could share? Like, I know you've had a long career and there's probably many teammates that you've had, many different stories, but is there one untold story that you haven't talked about yet that you would consider the funniest story throughout your career?
Funniest story throughout my career. Wow.
Could be anything, whatever. On the court, off the court, whatever.
Oh, man, I gotta think
Team
about
planes, you
that,
know.
bro. Team Planes. We got so many. We got so many scary people on Team Planes, bro.
I know
Just
that
on
gets
this
crazy.
flight, Sandro don't mess with planes. Sandro, Mamu, nah, he don't mess with flights, bro. I told him he gonna end up being like Royce White.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, no crazy stories, bro. Except that, you know, guys used to get left. They used to have to buy their own flights. Wow. Yeah, like in Washington with the Wizards, Randy Whitman did not play. If you were late, plane leaves at 2, he'll give you a 10-minute grace period.
Yeah.
But if you not there at 10, we taking off. Wow. Multiple guys, I know at least 3 guys that have had to buy their own flights from DC somewhere else.
Wow.
And nowadays, you know, everybody's so nice. They don't want to, they just going to fine you. Yeah. And then you get to shoot for the fine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Build that camaraderie. Yeah. But, I mean, with the trade thing, when Buddy Hield got traded from New Orleans to Sacramento, he was legit shocked for the first 2 weeks. So it was his rookie year.
Couldn't believe it.
And that's the guy, like, Buddy was like, yo, like, they traded me. He used to just say it, sit in the locker room, like, I'm like, bro, it's been like 6 days, yo. Like, but he was so great in college.
Yeah.
And was playing well. No, he was like amazing in college. He was playing well at New Orleans. It was just, you know, the fit didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And luckily for him, he went crazy in Sacramento and got a great contract. And but that's probably the trade that the guy that I've seen get traded that it affected the most.
Yeah.
That rookie year, he was like, what the hell? They traded me?
Blame him.
I love that. That's
They're
crazy.
still in the league.
Exactly. Still in the league, doing his thing.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got to kick him out the gym.
Adaptability.
There you go.
It's crazy.
Okay, I want to pivot a little bit into your current team right now.
Okay.
I want to talk about Darko. As a fan, I know that we have seen him run into the locker room, tackle you guys, just bring so much like joy and energy. From your perspective, like what does that joy, energy, and his edge bring to this team?
Oh, it brings like exactly that. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he got his first win, because my first year was his first win, and he went crazy. And then I'm like, oh, but then he started doing that a lot more. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's just that Serbian in him. You know what I'm saying? He just brings that passion every day. You know, like he hasn't done it as much this year, but during practice the last 2 years, he catch the ball. He's supposed to dribble it up this fast, you know, and he'd be running up like, don't trip, coach. Miss the layup off the backboard. Don't miss it, dunk it. But so it just brings a level of, you know what I'm saying, like you said, freeness to the team, passion. Guys understand that he's in it. He's all in it with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's great when your coach is like that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's translating into the success of the team. And I want to talk about one player in particular, Scottie Barnes.
Okay.
Very well-deserved 2-time All-Star, plays on both sides of the ball, just an amazing guy all around. I want to know from your perspective, what's one part of his game that you think is underrated or not talked about enough?
IQ, period, point blank. No hesitation there. His attention to detail, his ability to understand the game on both sides of the ball. I'll tell you one specific play that happened. His rookie year, I mean, my first year there, so it was his third year. We were in Indiana. I think the game was tied, and maybe 2 seconds left, 2.5 seconds left, something under 5 seconds. And we're in the huddle. Indiana has the ball, and we're in the huddle. We're talking about what we need to do, switch 1 through 5 or whatever it may be. You know, don't foul. Mm-hmm. And that was it. And 1, 2, 3 break. You know what I'm saying? It had to be like less than 2 seconds left, because we didn't mention anything about calling a timeout if they miss a shot or anything like that. Yeah. So Scottie steals the inbounds pass, and while he's in the air, he calls timeout. And we're like, oh, we had timeout. The coach is like, oh, yeah, timeout, come on. Come on. And it's like
Good job.
nobody
Yeah.
thought about that. No, not a soul thought about that. And just his ability, like you said, to guard all 5 positions. They got a lot of people that say they guard 5 positions,
He for real.
but he locks down 5 positions. You can put him on Jalen Brunson. You can put him on Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. I mean, that's just
Fact.
I'm fine with him guarding any of those
Yes.
people. I'm happy with him guarding any of those people. So, Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the
Right
Year.
here.
Steals, blocks, ball pressure, all of that stuff.
He's calling it now.
Defensive Player of the Year. But his ability to do that, and then offensively, he's starting to. I don't know if it's because BI came to the team or what, but that mid range is getting real silky smooth. You know what I'm saying? And he can really pass. You know, the IQ shows in his ability to pass. He loves the no look,
The
fake,
no
the
look,
fake no looks.
exactly.
I'm looking at
here.
you,
And then look around. Yeah.
the troll when he gets on the break and
Yeah.
somebody's right around him, and he continues to try to tell us, I don't troll, I don't do that, man. I'm just trying to see who's behind me. But his IQ is elite, and at that size, that athleticism, you know what I'm saying, that bodes well for us and not so well for the opponents.
Agreed. Happy for him and always rooting for his success and the team's success.
For sure.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here with this question.
What you got?
Give us your top 5 starting roster of your favorite teammates.
Oh, wow.
Can be former, current,
Yeah.
as you've mentioned.
And this is like guys that I'm building a team that's trying to win a game.
Yeah, starting 5.
Wow. Okay. All right.
You talking
I
about
got
some junk.
this is I got a lot of teammates.
Yeah.
I think I'm like second in
most
history.
teammates. Yeah.
So all right, let me go.
It's
Let me
a
go.
long,
It's a long list.
to
You know,
pull from.
one person that people forget, and I always want to remind them how great of a point guard he was, John Wall. John Wall at the 1 for me, because he's gonna make everything happen. He's gonna get in that paint and make people collapse.
Yeah.
Wizards John Wall.
Wizards John Wall was crazy.
We were hoping you were gonna say too.
Wizards John Wall. Shout out J Dub.
Yeah.
At the 2. Wow, I'm thinking
You can go
I
out of
play
order
with-
too.
at the 2, I gotta go probably Manu Ginobili.
That
Manu at the 2.
big man.
You know what I'm saying?
Max likes that one. He likes
Manu Ginobili at the 2. I saw some cats on the other podcast talking about Manu was a role player, and I tell you about the role thing again. Nah, I'm
not always that way.
beast,
Yeah.
bro. At the 3. At the 3, let me see what I got at the 3. My 4 is Timmy. We're not counting like
Timmy D.
people I was on team with, like this is about 12 teams, the 12 teams I played with, right?
Mhm.
Timmy D at the 4.
Okay.
At the 3,
It's a great 4.
Valid.
let me get dang. It's tough. Actually, can I put Timmy at the 5?
Yeah.
Yes,
we
you
have the
can.
5.
Timmy at the 5.
Yes.
Let me get Timmy at the 5.
Okay.
Let me get BI at the 3.
Yeah.
Let me get
I
BI.
Like
I
the
need,
BI,
I needed
like-
to hear that.
Let me get BI at the 3.
All right.
Because he's been your teammate twice. Is that
He's
correct?
been my teammate twice.
Yeah.
That's true. He's been my teammate twice.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Who's your
Now,
forward?
are we talking about like when I was playing with them? What they were doing?
When you were playing with them, what they were doing. Not now, when you were with these people.
Oh, shoot. Timmy is the best, maybe best power forward ever, but
Yeah, for sure.
I might have to take him off. Because when I was playing with him, he wasn't Timmy as much
The end of his
anymore.
career. Yeah.
So I'm going to put Scottie at the 4.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm going to put DeMarcus Cousins at the 5.
Oh, I like
Boogie.
that.
He was
like
a
that.
beast.
Boogie is a beast.
Yes.
A beast. All about winning. Gonna
Zach
be at
was
your rack,
great.
but as skill wise, so I got Scottie to be able to guard. You know what I'm saying? John could guard. Manu can guard. I got BI at the 3 score. Oh yeah, we good.
Yeah,
we good. We
yeah.
good.
I'm
Cuz
taking that starting 5. That's
Cuz-
fire. That's
nah,
fire.
It's a solid
Oh,
team.
I ain't never done that before. That's my first time ever thinking about that.
I love that.
I like that.
That's good.
Good question.
Thanks.
And okay, just real quick, if you had to give 5 people, not including their play, just your 5 favorite teammates
Mhm.
throughout your career, who
Yep.
would those 5 be?
Bradley Beal, DeAndre Jordan,
Nice.
Still me.
Yep.
Yeah, my dog, bro. Herb Jones.
Great guy.
Jamal Shedd.
Another good list.
Jamal-
Scottie Barnes.
Yeah.
Scottie Barnes, yeah.
Jamal doesn't get enough love.
He don't
I
get enough
love
love.
his game. but
Jamal is tough.
he's a dog.
He's-
That's what you need out there.
Jamal is so tough, man. He just
So
and he cares about. I love guys that care about winning. First and foremost, your thought process is winning, and then you think, what can I do to help win? But first, you're thinking winning first. You know what I'm saying? That's Jamal. That's why he won, Big 12 Player of the Year. That's why the defense put it wasn't about his stats. It's just that innate ability to. I'm focusing on winning the game. Scottie the same way. I'm saying want to win. So yeah, for sure.
I love that. Well, thank you for those lists. I want to end with these last two questions because I think they're very important. First one being impact. Obviously, as athletes, we always care about the impact we have on the court and making fans smile, but having an impact off the court is even bigger. We can always use sports, for us, basketball, as a vehicle for opportunities for ourselves, but if we can use it as a vehicle to facilitate other people and help, that's the end goal. And obviously, you funded water wells in East Africa. You helped out with the community involvement in Toronto, and your work with the National Basketball Players Association. I bring those things up because they deserve love, but I also want to know, is there anything that you're doing now that may be different of how you're going to provide impact moving forward, or something that you're working on right now?
I pour into my local basketball team, the gym that I told you all those guys grew up in. I'm still based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, man, and that's where I'm at. I have a couple of AAU teams. My nephews are on 2 out of 3 of them, and just giving to them to be able to go play basketball, because basketball provided so much for us. You know what I'm saying? The travel, the ability to see different things. And honestly, bro, the impact that I want to have the most of is, spreading the gospel, brother. You know what I'm saying? My Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. I talk about, we go to chapel. We have chapel every 60 minutes before the game in the NBA.
Yeah.
So you go to every team and there's chapel. You know what I'm saying? God, you come together.
No.
And we have, I think 10 guys that'll go to chapel. Yeah. And, some teams don't have any. Some teams have 8 or 9. So we trying to see if we can make sure we have the most people.
Yeah.
So that's the impact that I want to have on top of all these other things, is just spreading the gospel, man, spreading love. That's what I'm about.
I love that. And they do that in the G League too. I love that they provide that for players and stuff. Yeah. And then last question for you, Garrett. Obviously, we've had the fortunate opportunity to be around this game that we love and get to play it from when we were little kids all the way up until we choose not to play it anymore. But we come across so many people, coaches, players, mentors, front office staff members. So we're going to leave the game with a lot of lessons learned. But if you had to choose one lesson that is probably the biggest lesson you learned from the sport of basketball that you'll take with you for the rest of your life, what would that be?
That's a really, really good question, Jay. One lesson I would say is, there's so many.
And there's so many, I know. So I don't mean to put you on the spot. We learn a lot. Yeah.
One thing I think, I'll say this cliche, but hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You know what I'm saying? It's just as simple as that, man.
Yeah.
And we talked about the amount of people that have been in the league that should still be in the league that are not. And a lot of that comes with work ethic. But also, man, personality can take you so far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your professionalism can take you places where you wouldn't even imagine. Just being a good person can take you places where you wouldn't even imagine.
I love that. Well, we appreciate you for sharing your wisdom. We look forward to seeing how the rest of the season shakes out. We know the Eastern Conference is close right now, so every game counts.
Right.
So we'll definitely be rooting for you. But we appreciate you for taking the time and coming to join us on the show.
So appreciate you, man.
Man, appreciate you. Yes, sir.
So
That's a wrap for this episode of Link with JB. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for future episodes. And Kiran and I will catch you next time.